Kim, to start with, how did you first hear about Bradford Movie Makers, and how did you convince them to be in a film? Did they take much convincing?
I heard the algorithms of Facebook put us together. I think somehow it had put film together, and I saw a post from Joe, who's filming me now, and Joe was lamenting at the time how lonely he was. He's not lonely anymore. And I thought it was a really interesting post. And so I kind of followed his profile, and up popped Bradford Movie Makers, and a great image of them handing themselves a huge silver trophy, the trophy bigger than we could ever imagine, honestly. So I got invited to an AGM by Phil, who'd already done some groundwork for me. Thank you, Phil. Pretty much unanimously, the club agreed for me to film. Why, Phil? Because of your reputation?
Well, we didn't have a reputation, so I kind of had the theory if they made us look terrible and trashed our reputation, it didn't matter. No one heard of us, so. but we had more to gain than lose, so worth the risk.
So so filming in the club was one thing. Filming in their homes was completely another task altogether. Before this, I made a film set in Cuba under the end of the Castro's regime. Access to Cuba was easier. So it took time. I've still got my northern accent. We drive a little car, and they kind of trusted us. It took a while for us to trust us. But eventually they kind of let us into their lives, and this is a result.
Would you say it's easier or harder to make a film about filmmakers?
A lot easier. No, it has its own issues. Like they do tend to know when you want to cut it, and they do kind of tend to tell you where to stand with the camera. And they do tend to say you're maybe not doing it right, and they do, But in some ways it's easier because they do understand the editing process. They do understand that this stuff can take time, because I think some of their films are maybe 10 years in the, something like that. So that bit's easier.
Were there particular rules that you had either side in terms of you need to give me complete free rein, or from your side, from the filmmaker's side, you can't go here?
I don't think we ever I think it was more, gaining trust. It just took time. And some people, like Joe, he allowed us to film Joe's pretty early. He's a bit of a media tart, Joe. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Other people, not so easy. I mean, Harry invited us in quite early, but Harry was very concerned about Mary and protecting Mary's dignity, and quite rightly, and that took a little bit more time, and I kind of had to explain to Harry that if you remember in the early part of the film, there's a kind of figurine of Superman and Lois Lane. It's got the broken fingers, and that kind of gave me an idea. And Harry had been looking after Mary for 7 years in the front room. And I just said, Superman comes in lots of guises, Harry, and you are a Superman. And I think you understood that, Harry, but I'll let you speak.
Yes. Well, in fairness, when Kim was filming, I was playing the piano for Mary, as you saw, and I said, please don't show Mary, because she looks so ill, and I wanted to preserve her dignity. But Kim said to me when I saw it, the full film, she said, I've got to tell you that our editor has said that it won't make sense if we don't show Mary, because we want to show how you were caring for her, you see. So I thought that the Superman ending was linked with the Captain Marvel, which I did when I had black hair at the beginning. But it was as Kim's explained, it was the other meaning of it. So, as I say, I think that the editing is marvellous in the film, and the way it's all put together, and obviously so do you. Yeah.
It gets quite heated at points. How did it feel for you, Phil, to see?
Oh, God. I made a decision early on in the film that the worst thing for me is if I watched myself on the screen and I was boring. So early on I thought, just be yourself. Just ignore that there's a camera point. I was myself a bit too much there. I'm not proud of the fact that I lost my temper with Harry, even though he's a complete nightmare to deal with. I mean, in all seriousness, me and Harry don't argue that much. And it seemed to capture a moment in time when, for whatever reason, we weren't getting on.
Yeah, we're very, very good friends, and Phil has a lot of sympathy for me. I mean, when the film was being shown, and I saw Mary looking so ill, he sort of put his hand on my arm and squeezed, so he has the empathy for me. Phil, I'm afraid, can quickly lose his temper, as you saw.
Did he?
I never lose mine, do I?
You have this skill, Harry, of knowing exactly which strings to pull.
The wrong camera.
There's no one quite knows how to wind me up like you do when you're in that cranky mood. But we get on great usually.
One of the things that really shines through is that beyond the movie making, and I think Joe talks about this a lot, that this is a place of community and a community space when we don't have many left in this country.
Yeah.
There's the scene when they're talking about whether the Movie Makers is going to become a virtual club, and it's Joe and Phil are talking, and Phil says, "But I make a point every week of putting my hand on Harry's shoulder, or I give Keith a hug," and for me that was always the kind of kiss sequence in Cinema Paradiso. Is the kind of that's how about as demonstrative as us Northerners get.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's true. I think I say these things because they sound good. And I watch myself on screen and think, did I say that? That sounds like nonsense.
Oh, thank you.
No, but we are a bit.
You do talk a lot of nonsense.
Thank you, Harry.
Joe,
Sorry, Phil.
did you have something to add to that?
I was quite surprised how I could see into the future like that, and just because it was about 2 years before the pandemic, and I just thought, one day we might be virtual. We don't know what's going to happen here, but I was quite shocked when it came true. Kind of through not holograms, but through videos on screen that we didn't have. We never heard of Zoom when we had that conversation. I was flabbergasted when it came up on there, and I thought, it looks like I can predict the future, and but it was just something else in my mind, So it's wonderful.
I'm going to open this up to the audience in a second. I just want a quick insight into actually how do you get a documentary made. I think, Margareta, if you could just talk a bit about the challenges against something like that.
It's like pushing a muddy snowball up the hill. And it eventually either falls back on you or you manage to push it over the cliff and then it starts rolling down and you can't catch up. No. Hopefully we are there.
Yes, we had a really, really good 90th birthday celebration. Look for the film on our Facebook page. It was very well filmed by Ian Eccleston, who's not here today. But we had a gypsy jazz band and some Balboa dancing. I do swing dancing, and we had some cars from the 1930s and things. So we could have this little image of 1932 when it first started. We had it outside, and some of the people were up in the cinema. So all the other local cinema clubs came from Lancashire and Yorkshire. And we hadn't seen each other for a long time, and they all absolutely loved it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. We had an absolutely great
It's on
time.
YouTube somewhere as
and
well.
Dave, who's a chef, did very, very well on the catering, didn't he?
Oh, brilliant.
And new members, Andrew?
Yes, we've had an influx of new members and donations as well.
Well, yeah.
I'm the treasurer, so I get to see all those.
Yeah, well,
Not personal.
sorry, we've been happy to invite people, our friends, that we didn't before because it looks so scruffy, because it looks nice now, and we've got a green room and we've got a sound room, and Andrew managed to get more money than that £10,000, didn't you?
That's all not.
A little bit, just a little bit.
And we've got a 10-foot screen. But the problem is we get head and shoulders on it because we don't have the beautiful theatre that you have here.
Yeah, so after the homecoming premiere, which is next week, isn't it, in the National Media Museum.
Week tomorrow.
National Media Museum. We might get a lot of new members from that, I think. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
We started in March 2008 at the AGM filming.
18.
And-
Not 2008.
Sorry, 2018. Sorry, it feels like 2008. and I probably would still be filming if it wasn't.
Yeah, I told her to stop, basically.
Producers, huh? But we did actually stop filming in August 2020, just at the kind of opening of after the that little thing called a pandemic that we had.
Yeah.
And this type of filmmaking, of course, we'd never know how it's going to end. And I mean, who could have predicted, a pandemic, but I think in some ways the pandemic gave us a really interesting, huge twist on the end, a kind of a Hollywood ending, which I think they kind of deserve.
Yes, actually, it's taken me 86 years to get on the big screen.
Never give up.
Thank you. And what doesn't come over in the film, possibly, is the fact that I am a magician. I was a full-time magician, a very close friend of Paul Daniels, and I rang Debbie McGee just recently to ask permission if I could show a very quick trick to you all, with the permission, that it's a classic effect which many magicians do. Paul Daniels did the best presentation. We were very close friends, and my dear wife Mary, my daughter Carol, unfortunately I lost my daughter as well. That really knocked me for a six. She was only 52. But the thing is, my wife, my daughter, and myself were invited to Paul Daniels' wedding, and there were very few magicians there, just a handful. And he had the film star Robert Powell there. He said he couldn't get Jesus, so he got the next best thing.
Is that you?
No, Robert Powell played Jesus. I've got to explain the joke. So, with the kind permission of everyone here, I'd like to show you the trick that, as a tribute to Paul Daniels. I'm going to stood up for this, so I don't know if it will pick up my voice. Will it pick up my voice? Yeah. If I stand up.
You stand up anytime you want.
I do the gags, Joe. The first trick I ever saw was when this magician counted these cards, and he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 cards. And he took 1, 2, 3 away, put his hand deep in his pocket, and I was wrong as well. And the amazing thing, Colin, was at the end, he was still left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 cards, and the whole audience went, wow! When he did it. I'll play to this lot over here. The first trick I ever saw, this magician had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 cards. And he took away the 1, the 2, the 3, put his hand deep in his pocket, showed it to be empty, and as you know by this time, he was left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 cards, and the whole audience went. One night, it took me half an hour to get the whole audience to go, wow. I said, look, this is a very important meeting I'm going to down in London. I must have the trick. Where did you get it? He said, the pier, on the pier, the magic shop at Blackpool. So I went there, it was 9 o'clock at night, and the shop had closed. Sadder than that. So, and I knocked on the door, and after 5 minutes of knocking, a guy came to the door in his pyjamas. And that's a funny place to have a door. He had a door in his pyjamas.
I've not heard this before.
So I said, do you have that trick where you've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, and you take away the 1, the 2, the 3, and you put your hand in your pocket and show it's empty, and at the end you're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He says, I've got it. I says, how much? He says, £100. I says, do you realise I'm a member of the inner magic circle? He says, give me £200. I don't care. So for the first time tonight, I'd like to show you that trick where you've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 cards. And you take away the 1, the 2, the 3, put them in your pocket, show your hand to be empty, and at the end you're left with 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can't show you that trick where you've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the whole audience goes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bless you.
Can I just say to Colin how great it is that he's got down here and he's always so cheerful every week. Colin, how do you feel about coming to all these events? All these Q&As and everything?
Stay there.
Having all the fuss made
right.
for you?
Margaret, just put the mic.
Stay there, yeah.
Put the mic near him.
Yeah. Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, how do you feel about coming to all these events and seeing yourself on screen?
Well, I'm the oldest member of the club. Right now, the club started in 1932, and I was born in 1933, and I joined the club in 1973. And I'm just a live member of the Bradford Cindy Club, and I love the club to anything that's going on as well. Even though my legs are bad, I still like to come to all these events and things. And I still come. I'll be going to Bradford in the fortnight or something. And I think it's on in Liverpool and York. I'll go to those as well if I can.
And Leeds and Sheffield.
Yeah. Oh, is it on at Sheffield again? Oh, well. Well, I'll see about that then, yeah. Okay, then.
We've removed the banister now.
Yeah. When I fell, I shattered my shoulder. I fell backwards and hit the curb. It was very high, you see, was that curb, and I hit it, and I shattered my shoulder, and I was in 5 days in the BRI, Bradford Road, in hospital. And but I couldn't even lift it. When it showed me having a drink, I couldn't even tip it, but I can do anything now with it. I wish I could do it with my legs as well, though. That's the thing.
Well, we've removed the banister now, so he doesn't bang his knee. And my partner Martin, he fixed the chair because the chair wasn't working. It'd not been working for years and years, and he came and he managed to fix it. Sorry, just Harry complains like mad that the banister's not there anymore, even though there's another set of stairs that he could go down, but he doesn't go down those stairs.
Well, there will be a banister, but we'll put it in the right place this time.
Yeah.
On the scene with Colin when he fell, that was obviously a very difficult scene to film. But I was obviously became aware that there was plenty of people there to help Colin. But when the paramedics came, they really scowled at me for filming. And Colin, when Colin was put onto the stretcher, they said, "What's that person filming for?" And Colin said, "We're a film club. We film everything."
Well, I was asked once, I used to do videos, wedding videos and corporate work, and did my magic at them. And I was, a magician friend died, and he requested that the funeral be filmed. And he asked me to film it, you know, in his request. So I filmed it, and everybody were glowering at me, you know.
They're still glowering at you.
Yeah.
Also, I would just like to say that this is Jeanette's first time in London.
Yeah, first time ever.
So, Jeanette, how is London?
I love it, and it's just like what you see on the telly. So hopefully we'll be able to see some sights tomorrow, hopefully. But it's absolutely fantastic. Just what I thought it'd be. You embarrassed me now.
I didn't mean to.
This is a question for all of you, in turn. What advice would you give to any filmmakers in the audience? And also, what advice would you give to people who are thinking of setting up their own club?
The thing about filmmaking is, with cheaper digital technology, because back in the old days you had to buy cine film and it was expensive, you had to have it developed. With the cheaper technology, anyone can make a film now, you know. And you've got YouTube. There's like 1 million tutorials on YouTube that weren't there when I started. So you've just got to want to do it. You know, buy yourself the camera, look on YouTube, buy books, talk to other filmmakers. But if you want to make a film, you can do it. And if your first film is terrible, it doesn't matter, because that's how you learn. You know, you look at your film, you go, what did I do wrong? Right, I'll get that right next time. And then 20 years later, you almost do a good film. So.
Can I just say, I do think it's important for filmmakers to meet physically in person, because they're in front of a screen so much of the time. And, you know, they're very helpful. They've taught me a lot of things and help you if you've got any problem. So I hope the film helps to stop any more film clubs closing, because there's still quite a few knocking about. And I hope some more film clubs start even, you know, that would be good.
I also think it's really important that we put films in cinemas. I'm old-fashioned, but I just think the collective experience you can't be. Once a young guy from Bradford College came in, and these guys welcomed him. They welcome everybody. They're very, very inclusive. And they allowed him to put his film up on the screen. And then he got a rapturous round of applause. And he said, "I've only ever had a thumbs up on YouTube." And I think that really sums it up for me, what the importance of film on the screen, the communal activity.
We should talk a little bit about your plans for the film moving forward. So you mentioned it earlier, there's going to be a screening in Bradford. What's happening with the release?
Do you understand, Margaret?
We have about 75, 80 screenings secured for the film, which is great. We are showing it in the Picture House cinemas as well, and it's going to the BBC in December.
Hey.
And the official release date is the November the 11th.
Yeah.
For
What about
cinemas.
BBC?
Yeah, into the cinemas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I believe we have something a little bit special tonight, exclusive to this screening. Joe, do you want to put down the camera and tell us what we're about to see?
What we're about to see, Joe?
Okay. What are we about? Oh, that one.
We're on that one, Joe.
Oh, right. You're about to see the days when I thought I could be an actor and give it up when I was 60 or 59, should I say. But in the days I thought I could be an actor, here's a minute of my acting, and it's also Keith.
Oh, God.
And Ed, who's not here, and Phil filmed it a little bit.
Yeah.
I filmed a lot of selfies, and And the number of times I said to Phil, it doesn't matter what the damn light is like, just film me.
So it's not only me that argues with Phil.
Apparently not.
No, it ain't.
So there's one scene there, it's backlit, and he's caught it beautifully because I shouted at him very loudly. It doesn't matter, just film it.
Spare some change, mate. Give us a home.